Size of shapes using squared sheets. Part 2. Today we will learn how to measure difficult shapes and how to compare shapes based on their measurement.
Dad, why are you looking at this map for so long?
Vandana, I want to build a small fish pond in our farm. So, I took the help of an engineer to make a map of our farm and the pond to be built in it. Look, this is the map of our farm and the pond is shown in this. I want our pond to be 1/4 of the size of the field. But by looking at the map, I am not able to find out whether the pond is 1/4 of our farm or not.
Dad, I can help you out to find that.
How?
Madam has taught us to find the measure of difficult shapes, and the shape of both the farm and the pond on the map are difficult.
Okay, then measure it and find out whether the measure of this pond is 1/4 of the total measure of our farm or not.
First, we will measure the whole farm.
But how will you do that?
Take a look. This farm is covering some squares completely. First, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 183, 184. The number of squares completely covered by the farm is equal to 184. Now we will count the squares that are covered in half or more than half. Their number is 24. Some of the squares are covered in less than half by the farm. We don't count them. That means the farm has covered almost 184 plus 24 squares. Therefore, this farm covered almost 208 squares.
It looks like this.
Now you want the pond to be built in 1/4 of the farm, right? That means the pond should cover 208 divided by 4 squares. That is, if this pond covers almost 52 squares, then we can say that this pond is 1/4 of the farm.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
Now we will count the squares covered by this pond. The number of squares that are covered completely is 34. Now we will count the squares that are covered in half or more than half. Their number is 18. The number of squares that are covered less than half are not counted. This shows that this pond has covered 34 plus 18 equal to 52 squares, which is 1/4 of the squares that are covered by the farm. That means that the engineer has measured it correctly. This pond covers exactly 1/4 of our farm.
Oh wow, Vandana, you have already become an engineer.
No, Dad, there is still a lot to study for that.
Today you have learned that difficult shapes can be measured based on the number of squares they are covering, and while measuring the shapes, squares that are covered in half and more than half are counted. The squares that are covered less than half are not counted.